Mr. Speaker, may I have your permission to address questions filed by members Ms. Denise Phua, Xueling and Mr. Desmond Choo together as they relate to early childhood manpower?
Go ahead.
Our early childhood educator workforce grew from over 18,000 in 2018 to over 25,000 today. To expand government-supported preschools to cater to 80% of preschoolers, ACDA has been working with government-supported preschools to grow their local and foreign workforce, as well as optimize manpower deployment to ensure that centres are adequately staffed. Notwithstanding these efforts, we estimate that another 1,500 more educators will be needed in the coming years. We will grow the sector workforce while maintaining high standards of skills and competencies. All early childhood educators must complete pre-service training and meet professional, language and academic requirements before ACDA certifies them for deployment in our preschools. For in-service early childhood educators, ACDA has launched the Continuing Professional Development Roadmaps and the Leadership Development Framework to support educators in their career progression and professional development. To attract and retain educators, ACDA has been working with preschool operators to make early childhood education an attractive profession of choice. We raised salaries of early childhood educators in government-supported preschools to keep pace with market wages and professional skills. We also improved the well-being of early childhood educators by designating Teachers' Day and Children's Day as preschool holidays from 2024 and removing the requirement for childcare centres to operate on Saturdays from 2025. To ensure that other related sectors, particularly the social service sector, have sufficient manpower, the Ministry of Social and Family Development works closely with the National Council of Social Service as well as other government agencies to coordinate our efforts. Ultimately, the various sectors have to ensure that they offer competitive remuneration and good working conditions while motivating their staff well. The MSF and ACDA will continue to monitor the planned expansion of preschool services and work closely with relevant stakeholders to ensure a sufficient supply of quality early childhood educators. Thank you.
Thank you, MOS, for the reply. I have mixed feelings when I received the news about the increase in preschool placements. One, of course, very happy about the additional places. The other one is really worried about the manpower situation, especially if it's seen as a competition for talents or manpower, and those who have deeper pockets will have the advantage, compared to others who have not. So my question is, who is MSF at national level? Who is MSF working with beyond the NCSS, National Council of Social Services, because there are also other sectors that require such manpower? And also, is there an overall manpower kind of demand and supply master plan, so that which actually reflect on strategies to update the skills, to grow the whole pie, or even to change immigration policies and so forth, so that there's less competition while everybody, really are able to grow the pie to meet national needs?
I think indeed the reality that we see in Singapore is that we do have a manpower and a women power crunch. There are many industries out there who are looking for skilled talent to fill places. So in relation to the question that she asked, apart from the MSF who discusses with the NCSS, there are also regular discussions between MSF with MOM, with MTI, to take a holistic look at what are the manpower needs of the entire economy. At the same time, the ministry is also touches base with the Institutes of Higher Learning to ensure that there are relevant courses for young students so that when they graduate, that there are meaningful jobs for them. So there is this whole of government effort to look at manpower planning. Thank you.
Thank the MOS for replying, and it's comforting to know that plans are afoot to support our early childhood educators. Obviously, when we want to bring in a lot more manpower to support the expansion, one of the key issues will be wages. And wages will naturally have to go up because there'll be competition from other sectors to attract them into this space. Now, how would the ministry ensure that the fees continue to be affordable to young parents, even as they're better supported with more places? How do we ensure that the providers, their margins are still viable for them to be sustainable so that services will not be interrupted, even as fees via the increase in wages go up? Thank you.
There are actually two tracks that are happening. First, on wages, in 2022, ACDA had conducted a review of the salaries of early childhood educators to ensure that their salaries commensurate with their contributions as well as professional skills. We had announced this. This was greeted with much joy. And I think many of the early childhood educators felt that their contributions were being appreciated. I also shared that together with wage increases, there were also targeted moves at making sure that their working conditions are attractive as well. The second part of your question actually relates to the fees that are paid by parents with preschool-going children. So under the Anchor Operator Scheme, the government, the MSF, actually provides subsidies to the preschool operators and for them to keep fee caps, which we have announced before. And these fee caps essentially ensure the affordability of preschool education for parents. And in fact, over the past 2 years, we have been steadily reducing those fee caps, meaning that parents actually pay less per year, per month, for preschool expenses, which also translates to less out-of-pocket expenses for parents. So both these tracks are ongoing. One, to uplift wages. Second, to increase subsidies to preschool operators to make sure that they adhere to fee caps, which are decreasing, right? So that actually out-of-pocket expenses from parents are actually decreasing on a year-to-year basis. And what in total that actually means is that the government is actually putting in a lot of monies to subsidize the preschool sector for the educators as well as the parents. Thank you.
I share Ms. Denise Phua's concern about manpower manning. I have received feedback that from some preschool educators that they are not being allowed to leave their centers to have their lunch. And they're required to eat in and at the same time keep an eye on their charges. I think this is possibly due to manpower shortages. So is ACDA aware of this situation? And if so, what is ACDA doing to help some of these operators to beef up their manpower? Because I think working conditions are often crucial in retaining staff, and I believe having a proper meal break is important.
I totally agree with the member that when we talk about working conditions, it also includes things like rest days, the number of hours they have to put into taking care of their charges, and definitely, having their lunch in the appropriate environment. So one thing that ACDA has done is that in October 2024, ACDA had appointed service providers to offer affordable and reliable relief staff services to all preschools. Because we recognize that for individual preschools, there may be situations whereby they may on specific days or specific months have a manpower crunch due to a variety of issues. It could be about allocation of staff between centres, it could be a key staff going on sick leave, so on and so forth. So when such incidents happen, it is very difficult for MSF to always react to individual cases because we have close to 1,900 preschools across the whole of Singapore. So I think fundamentally, I think what we should do as a matter of policy is to work with the industry to ensure that there is a relief pool of manpower who the preschools are able to call upon to plug short-term manpower shortages at individual centres. Thank you.